Danny and Input cruising through the airwaves. Transformers knowledge blast that never caves. Reviews so sharp they'll cut through steel. In the podcast world, they're the real deal. Jumping in the deep end, swimming with the best. Danny's got the info and she never needs to rest. Input's got the passion like a roaring jet. Together they make a mark you won't forget. Dynamic duo, never gonna quit. Taking over airwaves, super lit. Transformers podcast bringing the heat. Every single episode can't be beat.
Hey everyone, welcome to the State of the Transformers Fandom. Today we're talking about Toxicity.
We're not talking about the System of a Down album either, so...
Introduce yourself, even though you need no introduction on this show.
Well, if I don't need any introduction, then I guess I can skip it this week, but I guess... I don't think I will, because it's me. It's that N-PUT, and if I was to skip this... I got nothing after that. I don't know. I thought I could, yeah. Anyway, I'm momming once again with Danny Double D, and nobody is gonna die for me. There we go. That's a. If you guys know Danny, that's a. God, when did you post that? Like that was like 2 years ago, right?
I think it was almost like it was the early show, like almost 2 years ago now.
Yeah. A little bit of context. One of her, I don't know, she went to a toy show and there was somebody excited to meet her, and she would, and she said that she would die for Danni Dolphin. I thought that was kind of sweet.
Yeah, no, I know.
Right.
Bart, I was like, you should have been a cult leader, he said. I was like, I should have been. I know it was my true calling, but you know. And I went to the toy show, had a blast. I got so much good stuff. I showed Input some stuff earlier. Got this beach comber because I was like for $50. Yeah, I know, overpaid. And then Bart got me this for my birthday. So yeah, there'll be more of that in the Danny's and World coming out in the show in October. The show for the toy show video. My head is just spinning since I got back, but
Danny's World.
Yeah, Danny's World and the toy show video. Yeah, I'll do the haul in the Danny's World. But yeah, it was a blast. I'm home safe. Just like I said, went too fast as always. Lots of nice people, lots of great deals.
Well, those toy shows are always fantastic to go to. Even if you go in broke as hell.
Yeah.
It's just fun to kind of like, waste the day away and kind of window shop, so to speak.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, Bart got lots of like crazy Japanese toys and great deals. So, and like I said, the people were just a blast. So it was positive, but we're not talking about positivity today.
No, we're gonna ram it right into the dirt, straight into the ground. We're gonna circle that drain round and round, and we're gonna be talking about toxicity.
Heck yeah. Let's get toxic. My toxic tongue's up and
the toxicity in our city, Yo!
Toxic adventure. No, I mean, what does it mean to you? Like, do you find the whole thing? I know it's kind of split. Some people, don't get involved with it. Some people find it very toxic. I've heard even people saying it's one of the most toxic fandoms over the years, even like 2006, I remember people saying that. So
like the Transformers fandom.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Like, I think a lot of it, man. I think a lot of it kind of, you can trace a lot of it back to like the Cybertron versus TFW 2005, like I guess like war or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Who I think it was Cybertron that got the plug. Or no, one of them got the plug on those old Kid Rhino DVDs for the G1 cartoon show.
I remember that. Yeah.
And I think it was TFW got the plug, right? And then like Cybertron was like super, super mad about it. So like there was this, this, I don't know, like feud between the two for the longest time or whatnot, right? But like, but I mean, I've seen Transformers fans like do some pretty, I don't know, man. Like I've seen Transformer fans, threaten other fans like dogs or whatever. Like, I'm gonna
Mhm.
find out where you live, and I'm
Yeah.
gonna kill your dog, like stuff like that. And I'm like, but I don't really see that from. I mean, I see toxicity in like all other fandoms, right? But like,
Same.
I don't see like the MCU fans being all like, we're gonna come and kill your dog because you don't like Ant-Man, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
I
if
know.
you
I
don't
know.
like G1, we're gonna come kill your dog. Like,
Yeah.
what? What
Yeah.
are you talking about?
I just
You know?
don't see it so fractured in other things. Like, yeah, because this group, like like in Transformers, you have the G1 fans, the Bayverse people that get really offended, and G1 fans that get offended, like everyone, like, and then G people stick up for G2 and they're made fun of, and it kind of just go like there's so many little subcategories, I guess.
I think there are some times where it's like tongue in cheek,
Oh,
right?
sorry.
Like,
Yeah,
like if you're a G2 fan, like I love G2, and I've taken the brunt of that for years, but it's always been very tongue
me
in
too.
cheek, right?
Yeah,
But I think a lot of people feel shafted because G1 gets so much attention that
yeah.
they get so frustrated and irritated that sometimes they might lash out at the fandom as a whole,
Hmm.
or you'll have people, you know,
Howdy.
that lash out, or they'll just simply ask questions, right? Like they'll say, "Hey, Hasbro, why haven't you made all the Dinobots for, the Studio Series, but you made all the 86 Dinobots for Studio Series, but not all the Bayverse Dinobots, right?"
Yeah,
And then somebody will come in and they'll be like, "'Cause Hasbro doesn't have to, fucking loser." Like, G1's forever, punk,
yeah,
and it's like this weird kind of like, I don't know, either like a defense mechanism or like they get like,
yeah.
they just want to attack or
Totally.
whatever. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah, I know it's crazy. And yeah, Ultramarcus, I won't touch your cats. I don't like pussy, dog. But no, I know it's in the attachment. The G1ers too, like they just think like because of G1, like oh, this started it all. Even though it's from all different toy brands, blah blah blah. But they just think like because if character changes and blah blah blah, like this is where it started. So like you can't like it's the it's like the first edition of like a Bible to these people in a sense that like it can't be edited, it can't be changed, even though like lots are, and it's just that's the way, and it's set in stone. And a lot of people in that age group, they kind of just in that set in stone kind of mindset, right? And another thing too, like on the trip, but it fits into this. You remember on Tails, I used to yell like G1 only and shit. Remember how much I hated animated? Remember that? I hated
yeah,
animated.
yeah,
Remember?
yeah,
I
yeah.
told you how much I hated animated. Now I won't show them all, but like all I got all these Blitzwing animated, great deal. I showed you some of that on the whatever, sent them to you, right? But I used to hate animated so much. And my mindset changed, because I was like, even though I've been through a lot of personal change, for my mind, it's very hard. Like once something is the way it is, I think like you can't go back, or I can't accept it. Or at the time, I thought like that stuff's too weird. But now that my brain has come around, like especially like this Blitzwing, like it's such a cool, like they're different. Like it's cool that it's different. But you don't
Yeah.
remember that. I hated. I remember you would tell me like, no, it's cool, and I would just hate on it. Remember?
Well, I've always been like a Transformers fan, and when I say that, I don't mean like a generic
Yeah.
or generalization as like, I'm a Transformers G1 or Beast War or whatever. Like I love the franchise as a whole. And there are parts where parts of it that I don't like, just like everybody else. But like, I love Transformers, right? So
Hmm.
I kind of that's why I will always watch anything that they put out cartoon wise. I'll always give it a chance, but sometimes it's too hard. It's too rough
Hmm.
to watch. Um, so yeah, but
No, like the bags from way back. I just have it still. I got like 5,000 bags when the store closed down. Put them in my car.
um, but like I think too in regards to what you're saying, I think that we I think some of us, or maybe a lot of us, end up experiencing toxicity from the fandom, and that kind of like that kind of jades our opinion on certain things, right?
Yeah.
Because um and okay, maybe it's an Armada fan that came after us, and we're like, and now all of a sudden we're like, screw Armada, because you lump Armada with that person or whatever, or that group or whatever, and then so you kind of start thinking that way or whatever. But then when you pull away from it, you're just like you get to that point where you don't care about that, like that person or that toxicity or whatever anymore. You watch Armada because it's something that maybe you haven't watched yet, or maybe it's just on TV or whatever, and you're flipping through whatever, and then whatever channel, and then you see it and you stop and you're like, oh, this is Armada. Oh, this is pretty dope. Okay. And then it kind of broadens your horizons, right? And you kind of get to that point where you just don't care anymore. You're just like, okay, screw this guy, right?
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. Like I said, change, new stuff. This, what's his name saying? I can't say his name. Martial culture preservation. Yeah. Did you not even like Beast Wars? I mean, like, yeah, I thought they were whack as hell when I saw them as a kid, like, because I was obsessed with like G2, and like I wanted vehicles like tanks and planes, and I seen like a cheetah. And even though my family, I've said this 100 times, had more money at the time, I was able to get like any Beast War and all of them whenever I wanted. So it was kind of that weird thing of like, damn, now my family can buy me this, but it's a cheetah. So I did hate on it, but then I saw the show and I fell in love with the show. Then I fell in love with the toys. So sometimes it takes all that, to come around.
Yeah, no, and that's totally true. When animated first started, I had a buddy huge in the cartoons, and when I say like huge into it, like he can tell you who directed this episode of Scooby-Doo, and just like, oh, I mean, it's crazy. So when animated came out, he was, he's telling me, you gotta watch it, and I'd seen like the trailers for it on like Cartoon Network or wherever it was that it aired, and I was kind of like, oh, okay, the animation style looks kind of wonky and whatever. And then like halfway through season 1, I started watching it. I gave it a shot, and I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. Like, this is so fucking cool.
Yeah, it took me to like last year or the year. Yeah, I think last year is when I finally accepted it. Like, it took that long for me to get over my stubbornness. Like, you could not have convinced me in the day, no matter what I saw or what I did, that it was cool or a fresh take. I thought it was insane. Like, I thought like they're out of their fucking mind when I saw that,
And what's crazy for me is like I've always been very accepting of Transformers, like any cartoon, like iteration of it.
Yeah.
And it's like I didn't really care, but for whatever reason, animated, when I first saw it, it was like this looks like Teen Titans, like I didn't didn't really jump into it. But so I think too, like, well, as far as like the toxicity and stuff, do you think that the fandom is as toxic as it claims to be?
I don't know. I think it's pretty high up there, because I know I've been like, I can be toxic too. Like, you know what I mean? Behind doors and even openly, I get frustrated and mad. And like, I've just seen where it goes, like, and like the toxic, not just on the toys, like, like I said, I don't even post like pickups anymore as much, because I have people fighting, and I know it's all, activity on your Instagram. Well, who cares? But really, I'm over it. But like, people are fighting over it because I posted something I like. And lots of times there's a lot of good stuff, but I see people get like threatening each other. Like you said, I'm going to come kill your dog over it. And I'm just like, what? And then like, yeah, the gatekeeping kind of toxicity, the G1, like not just with the toys, just on YouTube with the, the cliques, the groups, and people feel left out, or, some people like they were around people a lot before, and now they push people out and the cliques get smaller, tighter. Oh, you don't have 1,000 subscribers, screw you,
Right.
So it's intense. I think it's a pretty intense environment. I think like video game and retro gaming was worse for me, like, because the trans part, people weren't as near as accepting, and I took a lot more like toxic like hate. I find the Transformers more accepting on like who you are, but it's just clicky and more like, it's hard. You like I said, we love to highlight the honest reviewers, but there isn't a lot of honest people out there, because they just want they just want to get free toys, or they just, they just want to get the praise, or they just want to be liked. There's not a lot of individuals anymore, and that's toxic because it's just people following each other.
Kind of looking for clout almost, right?
Yeah, for clout,
and free shit for whatever they like, whatever their name kind of becomes to be or whatever, right? Like, yeah, I think maybe like Transformers as a whole is kind of responsible for that, because when you get somebody like who isn't into G1 like a lot of the G1ers are, they're automatically kind of pushed off to the side. Oh, we don't care what you got to say, or if it's not like Megatron is, or Megatron's always gray or silver or whatever, like he's never purple, like whatever, right? Like that kind of stuff. Which is always kind of funny to me when it's about a franchise that is called Transformers, that literally every iteration of it lives up to that name and changes its look, its characterizations and stuff like that, right? I would think that people if people are a fan of something like that, they would be a lot more open-minded. And the crazy thing to me, and that's really hard for me to wrap my head around, is people who will say something like Optimus Prime is their favorite character. Right. And they take absolutely nothing away from that character, and they're complete dickheads about everything. And it's like, okay, how can you honestly say that he's your favorite character and to absolutely take nothing away from the chivalry, the good-heartedness, whatever, right? Like, I guess, to put it in like, nerd terms or whatever, it's like, you say Optimus is your favorite, but you act more like a Megatron than you do,
Totally.
That's always been like a weird thing to me. Or like when the fandom attacks each other, like I was saying earlier, TFW versus Cybertron, it's like, okay, like you literally see what happens. Like we're stronger as a fandom together than we are separate, and we all know that, and we all understand that, but we don't practice that. Right?
Well, even with TF fan or TF addict is saying, like, I think it's different though. Like, I think these people, like, I like the toxicity against the people that are making this stuff, actually, because if you don't speak out, I'm not saying go on their Instagram and hate on them, like call their wife ugly and stuff, but like these people, like if you're creating a toy or a comic that's art, it has to be critiqued, and people like, the people they have are dorky as sin on the Hasbro Pulse. Like, if you're gonna do it right, get some people that can actually communicate.
Yeah, as far as like it don't
like, it's not about hating on the individual exactly, but it's still like, I mean, if they're making bad stuff, they're gonna get hate, and like, it sucks that some people take it to an extreme, but I mean, it definitely has to be criticized, because if you're not saying anything, and these people are making it, so they are kind of held responsible. But there's a difference of like attacking their family and just being outright rude than just kind of getting your point in,
And as far as like the Transformers team goes, like the design team, they had that interview on Unicron.com about the HasLab Unicron, where they pretty much kind of threw the fandom under the bus. And they're very mocking towards the fandom and everything else. That's why I'm not that's one of the main reasons, arguably the biggest reason why I'm not a fan of them. But like that adds to the toxicity. So now it's Hasbro's representation of Transformers attacking the fandom, and the fandom attacking back. But because the owner of Unicron.com was such a coward in that interview, and cowed down to the Hasbro design team that did the interview, or remember that did the interview, right? like he didn't push back, but so like basically here's this representation of a fan of the fandom and a representation of Hasbro coming together to mock the fandom, right?
Yeah.
So I think when you do something like that, that really opens yourself up to being attacked back, because that's always going to be out there.
Of
right?
course. Yeah.
So that's always going to have some type of angst or anxiety or hatred or anger or whatever geared towards it. And that's going to constantly follow them wherever they go. If they go to the G.I. Joe team, if they're going, wherever the case is, right? That's always going to follow them. The thing that I can't understand is the people that will defend the Hasbro design team for mocking the fandom. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of the things where I'm like, we're literally without us, Hasbro has no Transformers.
Yeah.
And we have seen proof of that with third party figures coming into their own the way that they have. Because there's a lot of people when Hasbro starts cutting corners that basically say screw this and they go elsewhere for their Transformer figures or whatever, right? So yeah, the sales of the stuff isn't what it necessarily would be because of that. And there's some of that can be held to these the Hasbro design or Transformers design team at Hasbro being toxic towards the fandom, and Hasbro as a company being toxic towards their fandoms as a whole. I mean, look what they did with D&D, how they attacked Wizards of the Coast, attacked their D&D group, right? Look at the CEO Chris Cox is up there saying, well, if tariffs increase price, we'll just put it on our collectors' goods, and because the collectors are used to that stuff, so that they can pick up the tab. Like he's openly saying this stuff,
Yeah, no, I know. 100% tariffs, baby. China, yeah, here we go. But I know and I said, like, I hate to say it, but man, get some people some better presents. You're upset that people are hating on that girl they call Squeaky and stuff. Like, are you dumb as shit? Do you know the internet? Of course this woman's gonna be a target. Like, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. Like, it's just, even what's his name on there, the Transformers, like, it's just head down, stuttering, like messy hair. Like, I mean, you got to get some people that can talk and some presence, and they're upset people are attacking these people. It's like, I'm sorry. Like, sometimes even the G.I. Joe stuff, I see how dorky the people act, and they're upset at the backlash. And it's just like, well, I mean, like, it's the internet, man. People aren't held accountable for what they're saying.
Yeah. And I think the other thing too is like they're putting the teams out there to represent this stuff. They don't have somebody out there to represent the teams that actually can, kind of hold their own. Like, the best example of that, the G.I. Joe team had a guy that the fans, I don't know his name, but they called him Dr. Mindbender.
Yeah.
Right. And because he loved G.I. Joe and he could talk, and his passion for G.I. Joe showed through everything that he was doing. Right. So the fans were real receptive of him. But Squeaky is like everybody knows that she's not a fan. She's she's a corporate plant to be there. Right. So like, and the thing is like, we can, as much of a music fan as I am, like I love music, right? We can smell an industry plant from a mile away. And I feel like that's exactly what's happening with like Squeaky and stuff, is like, you can spot them from a mile away, right?
Yeah.
And so that's not, we're not going to be very receptive of that, because they're not one of us, essentially. Right.
Yeah, she's a fake, she's a phony. It doesn't matter the look. Yeah, the look is gonna get her targeted anyways. But even if you had some skinny whatever broad on there that looked good, like, and she was fake and phony, people would still hate on it or hate on her. So it's like, you just have to have people like a little bit more put together and a little bit more just sincere, like, I think that would be better. But like I said, it just it just causes more hate. Like I've seen people go berserk in those Hasbro live streams, like in the chat. Like that is the most toxic live stream ever.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too is like there's a lot of people that feel like they're not being heard when it comes
Yeah.
to the product, right?
Yeah.
When case in point right now, Hasbro just unveiled that Maximum Series Hulk, and it's it's $60 for roughly 80% the same figure that's been around for I think like 10 years or whatever, however long that the original version of that mold has been out, right? Like 2018, 2019 or something, right?
Yeah.
And it's all reuse. And there are people being attacked because they're basically saying like, don't buy it. And telling people at this point, you should not buy this because it sends the wrong message and it screws over the fandom as a whole if you buy this because it sends the wrong message. And in that regard, they're 100% right. And people are attacking them for criticizing a Hasbro product that that they might want or they think is cool or whatever, like right off the bat. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not right.
No.
And Hasbro isn't doing any type of damage control when it comes to any of this stuff at all. They're not going out there and saying like, "Oh, come on, guys, chill, whatever," or they're not addressing any of the critiques. They're not addressing any of the like negativity. They're not addressing anything at all. They go out there and they say some corporate BS and some corporate paragraph that gets released to the Washington Post or whoever, right?
Yeah.
LA Times or whatnot, and then that's it.
I know. I just know where they're coming from sometimes. It's like Razel Kane would say, like the everything but Earthrise prowl. Like they'll release anything but what people want at that point. It's just a blatant like slap in the face.
Oh, for that re-release of Siege Prowl?
Yeah,
absolutely. Like, dude, you're not listening. I feel like there. Okay, I feel like there's a social media team, which we all know there is, but I feel like the main design team are on like TFW or Cybertron or whatever, and they're getting what the fans quote unquote want from a very, very small sect of the fandom, right? So there may have been somebody that wanted a Siege reissue of Prowl for whatever reason, and somebody saw that and was like, run the presses again, print it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's very tone deaf for
Yeah,
them to re-release that Prowl, that Siege Prowl.
Yeah,
it really is.
People are hating on it. It's just like, well, you shut the Canadian one's sunk on a boat or whatever. Come on. Just sad.
I don't even. Okay, I gotta get this off my chest. I don't think the boat sinking thing was real.
No, but whatever happened to those, like,
Right.
They didn't come to Canada. Whatever really happened to them, if they were short, if they made short amount and they sent them all the States or whatever, right? But like Canada, they did, all those were canceled off of Amazon.ca, right? No one received it. So whatever the conspiracy is, really, but like it just, and they still don't have we got Thrust at Toys R Us, but still it was, it just took so long. We finally got the Ramjet now. I mean, I got yours early, so I was happy, but it's just it just seems odd to me the way they handle some things or what they're really listening to. Or
do you think that people do you think people in the fandom that are helpful or willing to help or whatever, do you think they get taken advantage of?
Yeah,
like
I'd say
willingly taken advantage of?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've seen a lot of people at the beginning of their stuff too really promote other people, really go the extra mile, like you're saying, like almost getting in an accident driving to get on stream with someone or group of things that you put on, and taking putting it all in there, and then some of these people blow up beyond them, and they don't even talk to these people anymore. Or, you know, there's so many people that have their heart in the right place and they're trying to do the best they can. Like you say, I know you hate the word community, but it's like trying to bring people together, and then, you know, people just flake off or they get bigger. Oh, you don't have 1,000 subs, I ain't jumping on your stream, right? Like, it's just, you
Right.
see a lot of people get burnt, and it's toxic. And like, I know a lot of people have come out to me, and I'm not gonna name names, but they've said to me behind like closed doors, like, you know, like, I feel like I got taken advantage of. I feel sad. I feel left out. But I'm like, dude, still plug along, do your thing, you know, like whoever
Right.
it is, like, just, you know. And it's not just in it's in other shit too on YouTube and other content making stuff, you know, like, you know, people feel left out or get burnt, right? And but it's, you got to try your best, but it's toxic. It hurts people, like, they don't know where to go from there, you know.
Yeah, and that's kind of sad too. Like, because at the end of the day, like if you break it down, like it's you know, you're trying to bring people together in a sense of togetherness, because I don't
Mhm.
want to say
Yeah.
the C word.
No, me neither.
But you try to bring people together because, you know, you're excited to share your fandom or whatever it is, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden you're, you know, if you're not sending free toys or something like that, right? Then it's like, then
Yeah.
it becomes like an entire thing. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Or my favorite thing is, I will only be on somebody else's channel if they have more subscribers than me.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
like,
I,
dude, okay,
no.
like it's funny because I feel like there's a lot of people out there that want to be king of shit mountain. You know
Mhm.
what I mean? And it's like, okay, but nobody knows who you are.
Yeah.
Do you really think if, you know, Imgo walked down the street, somebody's gonna stop him and be like, "Yo, dude, you're Imgo. You're the..." No, because he's not on that level of like, you know, Brad Pitt or something like that, right? Like in terms of like celebrity, right? Like,
Yeah, and I don't even know. I just kind of know. Yeah, I've seen him a few times on there. We don't even see his face that much. But
right.
he is very. Yeah, he has a just, you know, distinctive look. That guy, though.
Well, my point is like if you have like 10, 20,
Yeah.
30,000 subscribers on YouTube, you're still not anybody,
No,
you know? Like
no. You go to the
you
right
go
place, right time, you might get recognized, of course. Like, it's
right.
like, you know, TF Con or something. But yeah, I know you're. Yeah, on the real scale. Yeah. And, you know, whatever Princeton was saying, that's just like Hasbro only listens to their shareholders. Well, good luck with that. You know, it's like the stocks are crashing.
Yeah.
like, I mean, like, they got, like, yeah, I get it, but I mean, of course they're gonna listen to that too. They have to please that. But I mean, like, the people are gonna stop buying. There's gonna be a lot of people if things don't settle here. I don't want to get too heavy on the politic part, but like, if things don't like settle and prices are, so many people are going to be left out of this, like, or they're going to be left out of, like, not, they're not going to be buying classified Marvel and Transformers anymore, or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they're talking about, from what I saw, and I've tried to find the source on it. I really have. So take this very much so with a grain of salt.
Hmm.
But I've seen people say that Hasbro is gonna start, if the tariffs like kick in, it's gonna be like $40 deluxes or something
Yeah,
crazy.
I know.
What does Princeton say?
Sorry.
If somebody sees Input walking down the street and says, "Are you that WWE wrestler?" So as a side note, that has happened before to me, legitimately. I have been confused with Edge. I've gotten confused with Triple H before, when Triple H had hair. And I've been confused with Christian before. So that's, yeah, it's happened. It's happened a couple of times.
Oh
And
yeah, yeah. That's funny. Yeah, when people see me at the mall, they're like, "I love your videos." I'm like, "Oh yeah, check out the new podcast on YouTube." They're like, "You're on YouTube?" But yeah, no, yeah. Like I said, there's time and place and little notoriety, but it's, yeah, on the real level. I mean, we're just regular people on YouTube, really.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. And we're sharing our
Yeah,
love and ourselves, or however you want to phrase it. What's up, Ion?
yeah, I know. Like, the toxic part is sad, like, because it comes in so many levels in this fandom, like, and all fandoms too, like from the toys to the shows to the groups, the content people, there's so many levels of it. But like when we have fun, we have fun. When you're around a good bunch of people, like when I'm with Martin in the gang again, and I feel this happy like around people that are like not egotistical. Everyone's on the same level. People I've been with, and everyone's just there to have fun. Norbs is the most positive freaking guy in the world. I want to strangle him most of the time, but hey, he's fun to be around. He makes me think of like kind of looking on myself and be like, why am I being so hateful right now, right?
Right.
And I'm not trying to be toxic or anything all the time, but it's just it's just perspective, different people. So it is good to be around. Like if you can find a group of people that are fun, it's nice to be around them.
I think, and I agree with that. I'll say this as a final thought.
Yeah.
Right. Jerry's final thought. Uh,
Yep.
I do think that Hasbro could do more in terms of damage control as far as it goes with
Yeah, I
the
agree.
toxicity that's aimed at them.
Mhm. Oh, for sure.
And be more honest with their fans of everything. And as far as the fandom goes, man, reel it in a little bit. Like
Mhm.
you should not be competing for number one toxic fandom with Star Wars.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? Like you should just rein it in just a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Don't scream that you're gonna burn somebody's house down because Megatron should be a gun and not a tank or whatever,
Mhm.
right? Like
Mhm.
it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay. Megatron is always a gun. He will always be a gun for
For
me.
sure. Yeah, I believe
Right?
that too, but like it's fine to have those opinions, but
Yes.
it's just like respect other people. It's cool that other people have different ideas.
Right, exactly. And that's the thing. A lot of this stuff ends up dying a very slow and painful death if it doesn't get rejuvenated. And
Mhm.
we have seen that rejuvenation happen and countless times, and we've seen that slow death every single time before the rejuvenation kicks in,
Mhm.
right? Beast Wars was off the back of G2 and Action Masters, and that saved it. Bayverse saved Transformers and shot into that freaking stratosphere,
Yeah, it
right?
did. It made it bigger than Hollywood.
Yeah. And so here's in that vein of what I just said, honest question deserves honest responses, right? And I want everybody to leave this in the live or in the comment section. And Danny, I'm going to ask you, is G1 killing the Transformers franchise?
I guess you'll have to hear my opinion next time.
We got a cliffhanger this week?
I think we do.
Oh, man. Well, I guess tune in next time to find out if G1 is killing Transformers.
Yeah, and like I said, me and you will talk over some other stuff soon, and yeah, we'll have like those polls going. So, but please put some ideas in the comments now too for whatever. And like I said, if new stuff comes up, we'll do a Danny and Friends or something soon, and maybe have some other stuff planned in the lineup. And yeah, like for anyone too, like I just wanted to mention quickly, it wasn't anything against TF. I can't remember his name
TFA?
right now. TF, yeah, fan page or yeah, like it's not that we don't have people on this. We're just kind of keeping this me and input for now. Like you never know, but this is just what people come to expect. And we're working on other stuff. There will be a time to come and join, get in with us too, and join in on the fun for sure. But yeah, just a little, we'll keep you posted. But yeah, thank you for everyone for being in chat this week. I appreciate you all, and input. I appreciate you as always. Thank you for keeping me in line.
I try.
Yeah,
You skirt the line every now and then, but
I
do
do,
try.
Especially after the show. I said you were a good person. Yeah, thank you. But yeah,
You told me
take
you
us out of here.
changed.
Yeah, you take us out here, but thank you, everyone.
So yeah, guys, leave your answer in the comments section on anything on our Instagrams, anything like that. If you feel as if G1 is killing Transformers and why. If you agree with that, leave why you agree with it. If you don't, leave why you disagree with it. And we'll tell you guys our answer next week as we ask the big question. Is G1 killing Transformers? And if they are they going to overcharge us with tariffs? That's right. We're going to be talking about the tariffs again, and we're going to be talking about, is G1 killing the Transformers brand? So see you same bat time, same bat channel, and take care of yourself. Take care of your own and everybody. And yeah, and see you next week, guys.
I love you. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining us. It has been a pleasure. However, we must now conclude the program. We appreciate your viewership and apologize should we have inadvertently disrupted your evening. Please do not take any offense. We look forward to presenting another engaging topic next week, and we extend our gratitude for your